Do you feel like you're there? All right, so here is our next ecosystem we'll be looking at today. Now, we're not learning about different types of ecosystems this week, just ecosystems in general. I've showed you the ecosystem of a desert and a marine area and even a polar region. So this type of ecosystem is called a grassland or even a savanna. Can you notice and look, see at what some of the living and non-living things are here? Living things, obviously the grass, the zebras, the elephant. I'm not really sure what that little animal is right there with the brown rear end sticking in and looking at us, but we've got some sort of something in the water. I'm not really sure what that is either. Non-living would be the dirt. Those little mountains or hills in the background. The water is non-living. The clouds are non-living. So these would be the living and the non-living things of the ecosystem, the grasslands or the savanna. So just another ecosystem I kind of wanted you to be familiar with. All right, so let's look at what we're going to be doing for this week. All right, so Wednesday is where you got your video. Wednesday, May 6th, moving right along. All right, so the instructions tell you that you are going to be creating and writing about the differences between plants and animals in the winter and in the summer, okay? So you'll be doing some research on picking a certain plant and what happens to that plant in the winter and summer, and then picking a certain animal and what happens to that animal in the winter and the summer. All right, you're going to use the next slide to insert illustrations of the plant or the animal in the summer and in the winter, and then describe each one of those things in the season. So one of the things you're going to need to do, it drives me crazy when there's too many space marks here. One of the things you're going to need to do is pick a plant and pick an animal, okay? So I've chosen a fern for my plant, and then I've chosen an ant for my animal. You choose whatever plant and whatever animal you would like, okay? Go ahead, and in fact, when you see this screen next, I probably will have put some different instructions on. Go ahead and pause the video because I want you to do some research of what that plant looks like and goes through during the summer, and then what that plant looks like and goes through during the winter. And then same thing for the animal. Look and research what the animal looks like and goes through during the winter, and what that animal looks like and goes through during the summer. All right, so go ahead and pause so you can do your research on that plant and that animal. All right, so once you have done that and you have your research, this is the page that you'll be working on, this one right here, okay? All right, so I'm actually gonna see if I can set this up. You can't see it when I do it like that because I really need to type and I need you to see this at the same time. Not awesome, but doable. Okay, so, better, but I'm afraid it's gonna fall over when I start typing. Let's see how. Sorry, I probably should have tried to set this up before we got on here together, and that definitely is not working. Let's put my phone underneath here, and that is, what is that? My phone. Let's try this. Okay. Ta-da! Yay, now I can type. Okay, so right here, so whatever one you choose. So like I told you, I chose the fern, right? Okay, so, oh, you know what? I probably should zoom out because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Up here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I found a picture of, it says, plant in the winter. Okay, so you're going to write about it and then do an illustration. Okay, so I chose a fern. So I would write about, someone's calling me, I would write about what happens to a fern during the winter time. So here's my text box, and I would put it right there, and I would type in, go back. All right, I would type in my text box. During the winter, a fern does not die, but it can turn brown and get covered with frost or snow. Okay, so there's my information about my fern. Okay, make sure that within your information you're telling me what kind of plant or what kind of animal you're choosing. In fact, I may even put something right here for you to tell me. I'm gonna make that bold so you can see it better. Telling me what kind of plant or what kind of animal it is. In fact, I'll probably go ahead and just have you do a little text box like right up here that tells me what plant that you are choosing, okay? And I may even have you make it, I want to be able to see it, okay? So your plant is a fern, okay? Now, after you've written about what happens with that plant in the wintertime, I want a picture of the plant in the wintertime, okay? So I guess you have a couple options. You could print this out and then take a picture of it and put it on the slide, and that way you can do all the drawing yourself, okay? Or I got a picture of a fern in the wintertime. Here's one right here that's kind of brown and frosty. So I'm just going to, what I did was just up here, I just clicked and typed fern in winter, okay? And here's a really good picture of a fern in the winter, but this is the picture that I really liked was that one, okay? So I'm gonna right click, so I'm on this picture right here, I'm gonna right click and go to copy image, okay? So now the image is copied and saved, and I can go back to, okay, my page over here, and I can do edit, paste, okay? And boom, there's that big old picture of the fern. Now, obviously, that is too big, okay? So it has these blue handles all around it. I can make it as small or as big as I need to, and then boom, there's my fern in the winter. Okay, you could do insert image and then search the web, but I wasn't sure. I guess I could try fern in winter. What kind of pictures I would get. Oh, look, I did get some different pictures. So I could have very easily just typed in fern in the winter, and I could, if I wanted to not use that one and I wanted to use the ones that were here, an easy way is if you type in fern in winter and then just drag it, it will go, well, it's supposed to, yep, there we go, but it's super, super big. You have to make it much, much smaller than that, okay? So, those are the different ways that you can get pictures of a fern, okay? All right, so then I've got to do my fern in the summer. So I need to do the same thing right here, oops, where I create a text box right here. So there's insert in my text box, and I need to say, in the summertime, a fern, blah, 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 blah. The research that I figured out about a fern in the summertime, okay? I'm going to make it bold so that you can just see it better. That says fern, fern, okay? And then you're going to type in the research that you did about your plant, what happens to that plant during the summertime, okay? So if you've picked some sort of flower or something that blooms, this is where you would be talking about that. All right, and then right here would be a picture of my fern in the summertime. So here's just a regular fern, that's something I found on Google Images. Of course, you can always do the insert image from the web, and then I can just do fern, technically just do fern, because fern in the wintertime would look something like this. And the reason I chose fern is because I just put some ferns in my garden in my backyard. So there's my fern. All right, that's what it would look like in the summertime, right there, okay? All right, so now that I'm done with the one about my plant, now I can choose the one about the animal, okay? All right, so the one about the animal, oh, really quickly, I'm gonna have you do the smiley face for today. I think yesterday was, what did I say yesterday was? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I forget what color I did for yesterday. I think I did yellow. I did red, orange. Let's do orange. Let's do an orange smiley face on this page. Why don't you just put it over here, right there, on where this leaf and the bacteria and the magnifying glass is. Put an orange smiley face right there for me, please. orange smiley face. Just insert an orange smiley face. Okay, so now let's move on to the animal. I said for the animal, I chose an ant. Okay, so when you do this, I will have a place for you to put your actual animal that you choose. I'm choosing an ant, which is an insect. You don't have to choose an insect. Okay, you can choose whatever animal you want. Okay, all right. So animal in the wintertime. So what happens to an animal in the wintertime? All right, I'm going to. You know what? I don't know if you know this, but I have this text box that's right here. Now, I can create a new text box right there, or if I wanted to, if I click on that, okay, and I do Control D, it duplicates that exact text box, okay? The size and the fact that I already had it bold and whatever font I've chosen. So instead of doing a new text box each time and changing the size and changing the font, so that's one of the things. It's called duplicate, okay? Control D. Another way to do that is if you've clicked on it, you can go up to File, right here, Duplicate, and see how it says Control D? Control D is just a fast way of doing that. So then now I have a text box that says exactly the same thing as it did for my fern, okay? But obviously, during the winter, an ant, blah, 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 and talk about what happens to an ant during the wintertime. So during the wintertime, an ant actually hibernates, kind of like a bear does. So it's one of the reasons that you don't have any trouble with ants during the wintertime is because they hibernate, okay? And then I can get a picture, insert, image, ant in winter. Right, and here we have an ant in the winter. Ooh, this is a great picture, all right? This is a really awesome picture. I love that. All right, just drag it over. Look at that. It shows the ant hibernating. There's their hole that they have in the ground down in the snow and the ice. I love that picture. That's awesome. Okay, and so I can just make it smaller and put that there. Okay, and then now my animal in the summer. Okay, so if I want to, I can just take this text box right here, okay? If I do Control D, it just duplicates that exact text box. I can pull it down here. Oh, look, Aiden resubmitted his math work. All right, and during the, not winter now, during the summer, an ant, blah, 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 blah. This is where I would talk about how during the summertime is when they really, really build their mounds and their domes and their nests and their anthills really high, and they do a lot of their storing. If you ever saw the movie A Bug's Life, that was such a great movie. My daughter loved that movie when she was younger. So in A Bug's Life, it talks about how ants get most of their food for the winter during the summertime and the fall time, and they get it all together and they store it down inside of in the ground. So I would type in and talk about all the things the ants do in the summer when they're getting ready for the winter. Okay. And then basically an ant. Now I guess I could type in ant in summer for my picture and see what comes up. Okay, so it's just showing, there's just different pictures. Here's an ant, looks like digging in some dirt. Here's an ant. That's a really cool picture. That's super, super close. Here's an ant on a flower. Just so ants just doing some different things. I like the ones where it's really showing when they're doing the stuff with the dirt and the mounds. This is getting the nectar. Okay, let's see. Wow, these are some great pictures. Ooh, that's kind of freaky. All right, so I really shouldn't. I like this one right here because I know that what they're doing. Oh, you know what? Or this one. Maybe they are at your picnic and getting some pieces of bread and then storing those pieces of bread underground so they will have them during the wintertime. So there we go. There's my ant. Now, if you get your picture, guys, and it's bigger than what's right here, okay, move it to where you want to move it and make it bigger or make it smaller so that it fits right in through there, okay? All right, so this would be basically what you're doing. You're choosing a plant, okay, and you're researching what that plant does in the wintertime and telling me about it, writing about it, and then giving me a picture of that plant in the winter. And then that plant in the summertime, writing about what happens to the plant in the summertime and giving me a picture. And then you're choosing an animal, okay? Writing about what that animal does during the wintertime and then giving me a picture. and then the same animal, writing about what that animal does in the summertime and giving me a picture of that animal in the summertime. All right, and that is it. That was kind of cool. I enjoyed doing that research. That was fun. Do not choose a fern and an ant. Choose your own plant and choose your own animal. All right, that's it for today. Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow.